Hi and welcome today. I'm Rachel Chamness at Sound Waves Heal. Today I'd like to read the chapter I wrote on the Blue Avians and my first encounters with them. I published this chapter in a book called The Beings, which was put together by the Near Death Institute. It's a compilation of personal encounters and experiences with extra-dimensional beings. Welcome to 5D Channels and Chats with Rachel Chamness. As a shamanic channel and mentor, I'll be sharing wisdom and healing from higher dimensions through channeling beings of light. You will also hear liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing, channels between intuitives, and discussion on higher dimensional healing and channeling. You'll find links and more in the show notes, so be sure to check them. You can find me at soundwavesheal.com and my Facebook group, 5D Daily Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions. Chapter 7, The Cure, Blue Avians by Rachel Chamness. Meeting the Blue Avians. Before I learned I was a medium and channel, I was a professional opera singer. I sang lead roles mainly in medium-sized houses around the United States, America, and the UK. Whenever I sang on stage as a soprano, I envisioned that while I was having a wonderful time on stage, the audience members were being healed by my voice. I set this intention because I had heard that certain musical notes can heal the chakras and open people up to spiritual experiences. I was spiritual at this time, and I had been studying spiritual concepts for many years at the beginner level. After the birth of my son in 2011, I took a break from my opera career and moved to my hometown, away from New York. Mainly, I was experiencing the powerful shift of becoming a mother and running my own voice studio as a vocal instructor. In 2017, I had a beautiful session with a psychic medium where my deceased Uncle Richard communicated a surprising message through the medium. You are supposed to be doing what she is doing. This absolutely shocked me. She was talking to dead people. The idea of connecting with the spirits of the departed seemed impossible. As someone who has never delved into such realms, how could I possibly do that? The medium Mora reassured me and said, "Oh yes, I have sensed this for some time now. You should begin your training." Her words left me both astonished and intrigued, marking the beginning of a transformative journey. She gave me a recommendation and off I went. I thought it would be amazing to discover if I was more than just, quote, a little bit psychic, like I had thought. My friend and Reiki practitioner Birdie began to teach me. We explored many ways that I might have a gift, and each was a wonderful experience. She certified me in Reiki 1 and taught me various spiritual methods for bringing forth messages and sound healing. But despite these enriching experiences, I felt like I had a long way to go to become a sound healer. As a trained opera singer, I was accustomed to a path of long years of study before starting a career. Only once you know a great deal of things and have honed your skills extensively. One day, Birdie told me another woman, Jennifer, was coming to teach Trance channel mediumship. I wasn't exactly sure what this was, but it sounded great, and the price was reasonable, so I decided to give it a try. I joined the other nervous women in the group, sitting in a circle with Jennifer, as she explained how our spirit guides would come into our bodies and speak through our voices. As an opera singer, this made me a little nervous. My voice? My voice was my most prized possession. Would I really let some unknown spirit use my vocal cords? Although now I know channeling spirit guides is safe, at this time, I did not know them at all. However, I followed the directions and persevered. For my first attempt, I connected with my protector guide. He appeared to me like a big brown bear, so I called him Bear. I sensed him enter my auric field and try to speak through my voice. I tried to release to let him talk, but not much happened. All I could produce were some guttural sounds. I was disappointed. However, being the dedicated student I was, I went home and practiced, recording myself to observe any changes. Though progress was slow and not much changed, I refused to give up. The next week, we met the Joy Guide, and I finally experienced success. I was able to let the Spirit Guide speak through me. Each week brought more success as I continued practicing. Then in the last class, we encountered the fifth Spirit Guide, the Alchemist. On a whim, Jennifer decided we should try to channel healing with this guide. A friend in the class, suffering from a headache, was lying down on the massage table. I closed my eyes and let my alchemist guide come into my body for trance channeling. This guide, a tall elf named Ephraim, made me feel as though I were growing taller. I could feel my hands morph into long fingers with long oval nails. With my eyes closed, Ephraim guided me forward to the table. He began to make sounds through my voice. Inside, I was rejoicing. I was sound healing. I was channeling it. Ephraim moved my hands above the body from top to bottom and back, continuing to make sounds. It was an unreal experience. When it was over, my friend said her headache was gone. Others who watched were amazed, reporting that they had smelled sage, even though none was lit in the room. We were all incredibly impressed with the method. At that moment, I suddenly knew I didn't have to study for the next 20 years to realize this new dream of directly healing people with my voice. I could channel it by allowing high-dimensional beings with their profound wisdom to work through me. I could simply be the channel for their healing. With this newfound understanding, I launched my business immediately in 2017. I began offering sound healing and trance channeling, letting my spirit guides speak through me to deliver messages. I also became certified in higher levels of Reiki with Birdie and continued training with her as she remained a wonderful guide and mentor on my journey. As I worked on these methods, my spirit guides taught me more. They helped me connect with angels and archangels and guided me to online teachers like Diana Cooper. They also introduced me to Fae beings and taught me how to connect others with these entities. As a result, I began helping many people connect to their guides, angels, and elemental Fae beings. In 2018, my guides brought me an extraterrestrial being. He was a Blue Avian named Alpa-a-Be-am. Alpar, as I called him, told me he was ready for me to introduce and connect my monthly group clients to him and other ETs. My first reaction was a resounding no. Oh no, please not me. I was already known as the crazy lady who spoke to fairies. Now I have to bring in the galactic aliens? I tried to resist, but they insisted. Where I once had many easy-flowing streams of beings stepping forth to connect with my clients in my monthly group, suddenly there were none, except for several galactic groups. So I gave in. In for a penny, in for a pound, I guess. I began channeling all types of galactic beings and connecting my clients to them as well. I trans-channeled their messages and healing, and they helped us tremendously. They brought great messages of hope and support, encouraging us to graduate from this challenging 3D life to a more pleasant and higher vibration life in the 5th dimension. They provided immense healing and guidance, helping us to not only reach this new plane of existence with Earth, but also become leaders in this field, enabling others to shine their light and ascend. Their assistance helped me up-level my life and grow my business more. Don-El 2020. In 2020, I learned about Dr. Stephen Greer and his E85 initiative. Intrigued, I decided to try out his method to bring in ETs for peaceful communication. It was different from the way I used meditation to bring them in to communicate, and I was eager to see how it worked. I had a hard time at first. Meditating and attempting peaceful communication with ETs outside in the heat of a Louisiana July was challenging. I was sitting in a lawn chair surrounded by citronella candles and mosquito repellent sticks, wearing 2 types of natural bug spray, yet the bugs were relentless. My husband was trying to distract my son and keep him inside, but I could still hear him calling me and knocking on the window. There was traffic noise, the view of the sky partially obscured by trees, and it was still full daylight. But it was 8 p.m., and this was the best time prescribed to try this meditation, so I persevered. I did the first half of the meditation as posted. Although I had a hard time concentrating, I eventually slipped into a meditative or trance state, something that comes to me easily. Once in a meditative state, I began to see lots of things. My friend Karen, who was also in the group and a wonderful artist, had drawn many beings that she had seen earlier this week in meditation. Maybe because those images were fresh in my mind, or because they were still close by, but I began to see some of the beings she drew, and many more. I saw Asterians, friendly greys, Lyrans, and many unknown beings. I also saw an odd-shaped dark cloud that might have been a cloaked ship in the clear sky, but it was partially obscured by some oak trees, so I couldn't see it clearly. The beings communicated together, explaining that they were many beings from different places who lived in the same eclectic plane, planet, or city. One of the beings then suggested I try channel writing since I was distracted by the bugs. I took their advice and wrote down what I received. This ET being introduced themselves as an Asterian. First channeled message. Welcome, we are near. We bring gifts of peace to your world. Hold on, for we come in greater numbers to help you move forward to the lighter parts of your reality. We come from many places, but together. We come in hope, peace, and love. Things will rapidly improve soon. You must just hold the faith a bit longer. Go inside now and rest. We will come to you again later." The bugs were unbearable at this point, so I hastened inside and ran a hot salt bath to stop the mosquito swelling. I turned on my phone and found the whole meditation one member had posted in the group. So I pressed play and sat down in the bathroom as the tub began to fill and continued on. This meditation was much different from how I usually conversed with higher dimensional beings because my eyes were open. I began to see a very tall blue avian standing in front of me, but also partially standing inside the cabinet and wall. It seemed as though I could see the cabinet with one eye and see him with another eye at the same time. He was crystal clear. I felt his energy and his warm, welcoming presence. I could see his whole body and his face distinctly. His energy and appearance reminded me of a comedic actor I loved as a child. Perhaps this avian put that thought in my head to make me feel at ease. His name was Don-El, and he spelled it for me. He began talking about his role on the Blue Avian Council, and that I, too, was a member. He explained that I had come here as an emissary for them. This was the word he used to describe a representative sent by a council or planet to carry out a mission. In this case, on the behalf of the Blue Avians. His message was so surprising. He called me their, quote, impassioned voice, and told me that they sent me here to hold the light and spread it. He showed me giving a passionate speech for the council. Then the council agreed to let me come here on Earth. He told me to embrace my passion and impulsiveness here on Earth. This revelation was so surprising because I had spent the whole week working on shadow work, specifically trying to accept myself as I am, with all the passion, overexcitement, and even the excess talking that happens when I'm excited about something. And here he was, telling me that the very traits that made me cringe and feel embarrassed were the reasons they sent me here. He even told me that the Kier picked my birth date and natal chart to reflect these qualities in this life. They call themselves the Kier, not Blue Avians. I asked why. Why would you send me to Earth when I am not a Blue Avian Kier? They answered, "We sent you here to hold the light and spread it. We are aligned with you. You come from many places." I was astonished to receive this message. It made me feel so good. I loved their species and felt so honored that they would send me, especially since I was not even one of their kind. The experience with Don-El and the other beings was so surreal, it was different from other experiences I had had. I felt he was truly there in front of me, and I could see him clearly. This experience helped me complete that shadow work. Understanding that this perceived negative facet of myself was important convinced me that every part of us is there for a reason. Knowing that they sent me here to help other people grow their own inner light gave me more confidence to help even more people connect to galactic and other beings of light to help them receive their important messages on what their missions and goals are. Reaching Don-El 2024. Here is where I wish for Don-El to bring his teachings forward. However, once I reached the point of writing this chapter, I was unable to reach Don-El psychically. This was a new experience for me. Usually, the beings of light and ascension masters come to me very easily, and I can channel anyone I wish. But when I called Don-El, I felt like I had reached a busy signal. I tried several times, even during a few CE5 exercises, until finally I received the message to have my client and friend Leslie interview him through me in a trance state. Here is the transcription of that session. I am Don-El, and I'm not so hard to reach, after all.
Thank you for joining us. I have some questions that Rachel would like me to ask. The first one is, what would you like for Rachel to add to the chapter that she's working on?
There's much value in knowing that your shadow work has more purpose than learning from trauma. As the human does learn from trauma, and it is part of the 3D density, it is, of course, a difficult way to process things, but there are deeper reasons than that. There is acceptance of yourself in many ways. Sometimes in this shadow work of accepting, you are healing past lives without even realizing it. Perhaps you are used to the technique of releasing past lives with a practitioner, however, this is one way that you release them and heal yourself more. So we often hear the words, integrate your shadow side. And what does this mean? It means that you come to full love and acceptance of yourself. This full love and acceptance means that you accept every part of yourself, the embarrassing, the shy, the awkward, every part. This is part of coming to ascension. For in ascension, there is no part of you that is hidden from another. As true telepathic beings, you must come to full acceptance and truth of yourself so that you can open your mind to speak with others without any shame or guilt for any part of you, which is always just human, to have shame and guilt or to be programmed to think that things that happen can be bad or mistakes, when always it is learning and it is part of you, and it is part of learning, and it is part of growing, and it is also so universal. So there's no point in the self-shame here. It is only what has happened, and what you have experienced as shame, so have millions of others, and everyone has their own version. And so it is a pointless exercise to shame the self, and yet it is a part of the human experience that you are now growing out of.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. That's amazing.
I was like, no wonder they wanted Leslie to be here.
Wow. Like I have chills all over me. I'm just like, maybe I should write this down.
I'll send you a transcript.
Awesome. Yes.
Okay, bring him back in. Damn,
Okay.
that was an answer.
Yeah.
You may proceed.
Thank you. What would you like to teach, or would you like to say? Do you have something to teach for the book?
Yes, and I have already said it. And so you may take it and transcribe it as a quote. And as you do, you may add steps on how to heal the self. Number one is the most important part. It is to come into full acceptance. It is a practice in which you allow yourself to fully integrate whatever it is that feels shameful in the moment when it happens. When you feel that shame, when you feel that guilt, when you feel that lower vibrational feeling, that you just sit and look at it and say, I accept this shame. I feel shameful. I accept that it feels like my fault. I accept the fault. I accept me. I accept all the feelings here, so that you cycle through every feeling that comes up. I accept the shame. I accept the guilt. I accept feeling I was wrong. I accept hurting other people and feeling sad about it. I accept whatever it was that made me feel that I should have done this at the time. I accept me. I accept my faults. I accept me. I accept this. However you would like to do it, but just continue to be open to accepting every feeling and thought that comes in your mind. And then imagine pure white light coming from Source, the universe, God, or whomever you feel is above, and bring that down through your body and into the ground to clear you of all of these feelings and release them once they lose their hold on you. And that is the only step there is.
Wow. Okay. Again, that's amazing. What is your job or main purpose in your current life?
I am on the Galactic Council as a missionary for the Blue Avians. I am a Kier, a Blue Avian, and that is my job, is to represent my kind with the Galactic Council. So I also oversee the Blue Avian Council. We call ourselves the Kier, but you call us the Blue Avians. So the Kier Council, which is a council of 5, and the Kier Council is in charge of all things to do with the Kier beings. My job is to take all of that and bring it to the Galactic Council for what needs to be approved and what needs to be included to help the cure. So I am the representative for the cure there. And my job is simply that. I came to Rachel to help her understand this message and share it as I knew she would. And the time has come to share it more publicly in this book. And I am happy that this has come to fruition. So I'm not a guide, but it is a contract that we have together. And it is now being fulfilled, which I'm very happy about.
Thank you. Is there something that you wish to tell Rachel?
You may, Rachel, call on me from time to time, and I'm happy to do so. But I am not a guide. Therefore, it is easier for you to call forward Alpa-a-Be-am to relay any messages that I may have for you. I am happy to know you again in this life, but I am not so accessible. I appreciate you following my instructions to bring me forth in this manner, as it was much easier for me to do so.
Okay.
Dude, dismissed. Anything by it. I'm not offended, but it's pretty funny.
In transmission. That was a huge amount of information, though. So
Okay.
he, Alpar, will communicate for you or
Yeah, he'll just no wonder he was so hard to bring in. And that I get that it's all a purpose because it was the idea for the chapter. It was supposed to be in there, but really I'm supposed to transition to Alpar. And that will help me. But people really relate to Alpar, and that's part of my, mission here. Okay. Dude, he's like the president of the cure.
He's really busy. You can tell he's like, this is what I do, and I do all these things, and so it's not easy to talk to me because I'm busy.
Right. And I was like, is he going to say I don't have time for you? But it wasn't like that. It's like he's already has someone in place to do these things for me. And that's Alpa-a-Be-am. So he doesn't really need to.
Right.
Cool. I get it. Thank you. I'm released from that, having to do that, I guess. I'm sure Alpa-a-Be-am will be totally different. Let me bring him in. I'm here.
Hello, Alpar.
Hello.
Have some questions. The first one is, why did you pick Rachel to bring your messages through?
I've known Rachel a very long time, much longer than she will remember. And so I was waiting until the time came. And I was the one to introduce her to channeling the galactic beings, as you call us. And so that was our plan all along from before her life started, from our soul contract. But we have been friends. We once spent a lifetime together as friends, companions, and co-workers on Andromeda in different incarnations. I was not Kier, and she was not human.
Very interesting.
It was a plan. We had come up with it on that planet. And it took a few cycles of incarnating before we could reach this one where our incarnations could work together. And that is how it worked.
Very nice. Do you come through any others?
No.
Hey, that's even cooler.
I have other mediums I may talk to, but I don't trance with them.
Oh, I see.
And it is much rarer.
Would you present yourself to them? Would they recognize your identity as Rachel recognizes your identity?
Yes, one.
Okay. What is the story of you coming through Rachel from your perspective?
We had this contract, and it was some time before we met up again. I, of course, am not under earthly amnesia. And so I remember our contract and how it is to be fulfilled. As a higher dimensional being, I am outside of linear time. Therefore, it is much easier for me to see where we're going and where we've come from, and even our past life together. And so finally, the time came when she was open to channel us. And I came to her as a spirit guide. And eventually, she needed my help. And I helped her begin to bring forth light beings for her TAG Lightworkers membership. And we were the first month of galactic beings. And so we got to know each other there a little better. She sees my blue orb often. I like to catch her attention and let her know I am always near, or when I am near, so that she feels supported in all that she does.
What is your job or your main purpose in your current life?
I am on the Cure Council. There are not many of us. And so my job is to work with the faction of Cure who are here, who are in a large ship outside of your Earth. And we all have those whom we speak with. And it is my job to make sure that everyone is connected, very much like Rachel works with connecting others to their guides. I work on the other side, making sure all the Cure with me are well connected to their charges. And sometimes Rachel and I work together for that, so that we work on opposite ends to connect the Cure to their charges.
That's really cool. Was that part of the contract that you came up with? All
Yes,
those. That's
our
all.
jobs are similar.
How nice. So, what is the main information that the Blue Avians would like to tell the Earth?
You are not alone. Almost nothing is as it seems. Everything that you say and choose is reflected back at you, and you can easily change your life on a dime by learning to release stuck emotions and embracing joy in every fiber of your being. For many of you, this takes a lot of releasing, and you live in great periods of stress. And yet, all you need to do is to not worry or stress, to release this habit. Let it go. You may enjoy your life and all its struggles and hardships with humor and levity. There are people who do that. You've seen it. It may not feel like that is your makeup or your human design or your astrology makeup. However, it is available to you. You may come past that and embrace a relaxation and enjoyment of your life. And we wish for you to do that.
That's lovely. Thank you. Is there something that you would like to teach the readers of this book?
I would like to teach them that everyone who seeks is given help. There are many ascension masters or galactical beings of light, or however you'd like to call us, available for every person who wishes it. And so, if you truly wish to connect to a being of light, an ascension master to help you in this journey, we are all here. It does not have to be Cure, for it is likely that you have a soul contract already with someone who is here to help you. We know you have many spirit guides who also help you in this capacity, and yet they are in spirit. We are incarnate. We are in a body only at a higher dimension, and so you are unable to see us, and many of us are sending you messages telepathically, as we are not allowed into Earth space at this time, or not without special permission. And so you must go through certain channels to see us in incarnate form, but soon you will be able to, as the world changes, as your governments transform to higher dimensional help, as your world and your life transforms in ascension. It is an unstoppable force that is coming so quickly. You will find this to be easier and easier, and soon you will join us in higher dimensions.
Okay. I have one additional question from Rachel's list that I would like to ask you.
Please.
While you're here. Is it encouraging to you to be able to see the things that humans are doing to try to contact you and try to ask for help?
Yes, and we answer. Many times the problem is simply belief on the human side, for all of you are much programmed to not believe. You are programmed to reject almost everything that we are sending to you, which is a program of the dark. And so you must really come into faith. Hopefully not a word that triggers you, but true faith that the universe is on your side and that the messages you receive are real and true, no matter what others may say about it. And you can always find a community that believes as you do, for there are many, 144,000 out there who are on your side. That is all.
Thank you, Alpar.
The chapter concludes with a half-page photo of a painting by artist Rachel Bergeron, 12 by 15, Alpa-a-Be-am, and a biography of the author. About the author. Rachel Chamness is a shamanic channel and mentor. She empowers lightworkers to rapidly expand into shamanic realms by channeling high-dimensional beings for light, healing, and guidance. As a former professional opera singer, Rachel uses her trained voice and channeling as tools to provide spirit-guided, liquid Reiki shamanic connections and attunements to connect clients with spirit guides and other light beings for their own empowerment. Rachel teaches online courses for channeling healing, light, sound, and messages to bring lightworkers in full alignment with their light path work. Her channeled Fae Oracle deck, Elemental Magic and Manifestation, is the first publication of many to help others connect to the psychic realm where beautiful beings of light can help you transform your life. Her chapter Contribution to the Beings book speaks of her history with the Blue Avian galactic beings. Her monthly Transformation and Ascension group, TAG, is a community and library to increase channeling ability, psychic clairs, and healing connections to all types of high vibrational light beings. Tune into her podcast, 5D Channels and Chats with Rachel Chamness, her show on Ethereal TV, Higher Realm Activations, and join her for weekly lives in her Facebook group, 5D Daily, Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions. Rachel spends her off time crystal hunting with her son, escaping into fantasy romance novels, and enjoying sci-fi movies with her hubby. You can find more information about Rachel and her work at soundwavesheal.com. Thank you for listening today. Please follow this podcast, like, subscribe if you haven't already. We would love to have you in our Facebook group 5D Daily. And be sure to sign up for my free Channeling Spirit Guides program, which you can find under resources at soundwavesheal.com. I am Rachel Chamness, and it's my pleasure to help light workers expand their channeling to heal in higher dimensions.